Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Guys, today we are see what if Goku teleported in Konoha with Team 7. Part 2. Before that, if guys are love this content, then please make sure to subscribe our channel for more parts of this video. And this story is not written by me, so original story creator, link is given in description box. Let's come to our story. Welcome to the Wave Village, Tazuna said to the group of ninjas and one Saiyan. A heavy blanket of fog covered the area like a blanket. Team 7 and Goku along with Tazuna stepped out of the boat and bid the captain a farewell. They started to make their way to the bridge as a heavy silence hung over the group. The fog covering the area wrapped around their ankles like a snake ready to strangle and then consume its prey. As the group passed a tree, they heard sudden movement from the bushes that surrounded the tree. Naruto whipped out a shuriken from his weapons pouch and launched it at the bush where the movement came from. The group of ninja and Goku waited for an enemy to come out of the bush, but all they got was one scared white rabbit. "Naruto, you baka, you almost killed that poor bunny rabbit," Sakura yelled and slammed her fist on the demon container's head. "Ouch, Sakura-chan, I thought it was an enemy, so I reacted on instinct," Naruto said, while rubbing his head, and went to go pick up his fallen shuriken weapon. He was joined by Kakashi, who inspected the bunny and noticed something strange about it. "That rabbit's fur is white, when this time of year it's supposed to be brown. Why is that?" The Sharingan user thought until one thought came to mind. That thought was confirmed when he heard a noise pierce the silence of the mist. "Get down," Kakashi shouted as he pulled Naruto to the ground. Goku turned to the others and tackled them to the ground. They heard a loud thud and turned their heads to see a giant sword piercing the trunk of the tree. "Damn, it seems my sword missed," said a voice in the mist. They turned their head to see a figure appear from the mist. This figure was about 6 feet tall with brown hair. Bandages covered his face except you could see his eyes that promised death in the most horrible way. Team 7 and Goku arose from the ground, while Tazuna hid behind them. Kakashi inspected the figure in front of them until his eyes widened when he recognized the figure. "Zabuza Mamachi, one of the swordsmen of the mist, you call yourself a demon, and I can see why the way you murdered your own graduating class all those years ago," Kakashi said, while his eyes narrowed, while the figure chuckled. "Yay, that's me, and you must be Kakashi Hadokaka, the copycat ninja woes copied over 1,000 jutsu," Zabuza said, while releasing some killer intent. Kakashi pulled out a kunai knife and prepared to defend himself and his team. In the group, Tazuna, Sasuke, Sakura and Naruto were shaking like leaves. Goku didn't shake from the killer intent because he's fought a lot of things worse than a swordsman. Instead of shaking, Goku let a small smile reach his lips at the chance to fight a new opponent. Kakashi seemed to sense the nervousness from his team. "Guys, calm down, I will not let my comrades die here," Kakashi told them. "Well, it seems like you'll have to break that promise, huh?" Kakashi's Zabuza said, while disappearing into the fog. Team 7 except Goku and Kakashi tensed up while waiting for an attack. "The heart, lung and the brain are such good killing points, but there are so much more, it's so hard to choose," Zabuza's voice said in the fog. Goku sensed a presence behind him and turned to see Zabuza's sword pierce the gut of Tazuna. Blood shot from the wound and splashed onto the shocked Saiyan's face. Goku placed a hand on his cheek and felt his hand dampen, but when he retracted his hand, the Saiyan was confused because it wasn't bloody. "Water," Goku whispered, and Zabuza seemed surprised as well. Suddenly Zabuza felt cold steel press against his neck and turned to see Kakashi with his knife at his throat. He then turned his attention forward to see Tazuna splash and become a puddle at his feet. "Water clone," Zabuza chuckled, while Kakashi pressed the blade harder into his neck. 1839 It's over, Zabuza. Kakashi's voice was laced with seriousness. Zabuza just chuckled until he did as well, fell to the ground and changed to a puddle of water. Kakashi looked past his team and seen Zabuza running towards them. Kakashi jumped in front of his team and started to battle Zabuza. Zabuza threw a punch which Kakashi pushed aside with his elbow and countered with a punch of his own. The two ninja exchanged blows, while the Team 7 and Goku watched from the sides. Goku wanted to help, but it wasn't his fight to interfere with. Ducking under a punch thrown by Kakashi, Zabuza kicked the silver-haired Jounin in the stomach, which launched him in the air and crashed onto the lake surface. Zabuza followed after the Jounin, and Team 7 watched in fear as a prison of water surrounded Kakashi. "Suiton, Suruaka, my water prison technique, you're trapped, and while you're in here I think I will go and kill the bridge builder now," Zabuza said coldly. "Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke and Goku, take Tazuna and leave. This mission was over the moment I was captured," Kakashi shouted to his team and our favorite Saiyan warrior. "Kakashi, we can't just abandon you like this, we're a team," shouted Naruto. "Damn it, Naruto, just listen to me," Kakashi shouted back, while Zabuza approached the group while holding the jutsu. Kakashi canalized his team and noticed they were still shaking a little, but Goku looked fine, and not even worried about the threat approaching. It's like has been down this road before, thought Kakashi. I'm sorry Kakashi-sensei, but we're not leaving, Naruto said, and then felt a hand on collar of his jumpsuit. He turned to see Goku's hand on it, and with a mighty pull, Goku threw Naruto over to Sakura and Sasuke. Goku-sen, shouted Sakura. Stand back guys, I'll handle this, said Goku calmly. You fool, you obviously don't have any shinobi training, what chance do you hope to have, said Sasuke, and the others have no idea on what I can do, and besides I faced worse before. Goku said the last part quietly, but it was heard by the group and Zabuza. Oh, you have, well let's see what you got, brat, replied Zabuza arrogantly. Goku nodded and put his arms to the side, while balling his fists. Suddenly wind started to blow a little faster than before. Then with a mighty roar that could split the sky, Goku began to power up. The roar was loud, and the ground around them seemed to crack at the pressure of their new friend's power. A blue aura which looked like flames surrounded Goku's body, while his roar continued. Kakashi's regular and Sharingan eye both widened at the display of power shown by the Saiyan. The trees behind them seemed to bend at an awkward angle, and the water behind Zabuza began to go crazy like it was a storm. The war cry continued on for a few more seconds until it died down, and the blue aura still leapt and hung around Goku's body. His chakra just went through the roof. He's just as strong as me, and Zabuza maybe even stronger, was the thought of the copycat ninja, while he looked at the display from his watery prison. I'm going to only tell you this once, let Kakashi go, said a serious Goku. Sensing a presence behind him, Goku swung his arm behind him and connected with the face of a water clone. The clone's neck, just like the trees, twisted at an impossible angle before it exploded in a shower of water. Enough games, Zabuza, I will not let you hurt my friend, said Goku, while his eyes, oh, and you're going to stop me, kid. Zabuza charged forward and swung his giant clever sword. Sorry, I don't know the name of the blade. Goku created a ball of Kai energy in his hand and waited for it to connect. Goku, move your hand, that blade will cut it clean off, shouted Kakashi. The blade was stopped when it came into contact with Goku's Kai-covered hand. Zabuza's eyes widened at the display. 1839 Impossible, my blade shouldn't have been stopped like that, and how is he making his chakra visible? What is this kid, thought Zabuza. Goku made his Kai go crazy and had it explode. The force sent Zabuza back and Goku appeared in front of him with a fist cocked back. Goku threw the punch which buried deep into Zabuza's gut. All time seemed to stand still until Zabuza cried out in pain, and the force of the punch suddenly exploded and sent the swordsman skidding across the lake surface. Suddenly the blue aura from before covered Goku again, and he shot across the lake surface like a bullet. What the hell, he can fly now, shouted Sakura. What other type of amazing abilities did their new friend have? It seems our friend Goku has some interesting moves, said a dripping wet Kakashi as he made his way to his team. He was able to escape after the punch to the gut to Zabuza. Zabuza finally found his footing and skidded to a stop on the lake surface. He looked up to be introduced to a knee strike to the face. The force behind that attack sent him farther onto the lake, while Goku appeared behind him. Goku shot off a ball of Kai which connected with the back of the Demon of the Mist. Unfortunately, Zabuza this time went crashing back onto the hard ground instead of the lake. Team 7 flinched at the sight of the burn marks, where the ball of Kai connected to Zabuza's back. Damn that kid, muttered Zabuza angrily as he eyed Goku landing on the ground before him. Are you ready to give up now, said Goku, while his tail blowed in the wind behind him. I refuse to lose to some freak with a tail, replied Zabuza while going through some hand signs. Suitin, shouted Zabuza, while a dragon made of water arose from behind him. Goku cupped his hands to the side and began to gather his Kai in the palm of his hands. The dragon made of water roared at Goku and flew forwards. Suddenly a bluish-white ball appeared in Goku's hands. The ball seemed to increase in size. The ball still grew in size, and it seemed to brighten into a bluish-white star. Ha! Shouted Goku and thrusted his hands forward and released the legendary technique. A blue and white wave of destruction flew fast at the water dragon and Zabuza. The dragon was completely obliterated by the Kamehameha wave and was now heading for the Demon of the Mist. Get down, shouted Kakashi for the second time that day. An explosion erupted and sent dust and debris everywhere. But after all the craziness, Team 7 turned their attention to Goku and was in awe by the sight. Goku was slowly walking forward with a giant pillar of smoke as his background. When he got to Team 7, he gave them his famous sun grin. Sorry about that, guys, I think I overdid it, he said while the others' sweat dropped. Ugh, you brats, said a weak voice. Goku and the others turned their heads to see a bloody and damaged Zabuza. I'll give you credit, brat. If it wasn't for my substitution with my last water clone, I would be vaporized, said Zabuza, while he coughed up blood. Suddenly 2 senbon needles flew out of the tree to their side and embedded in Zabuza's neck. The Demon of the Mist eyes widened before he slumped to the ground. A figure appeared before them and turned out to be a hunter nin. "Thanks for helping me capture this one. I've been tracking him for a while," said the hunter nin, while vanishing away with the body of Zabuza in a swirl of water. "Good job, team, and most importantly you, Goku," Kakashi said, while narrowing his eyes at Goku, who was scratching the back of his head with a grin. "Guess I got some explaining to do, huh?" Goku asked. "Yes, but that can wait till later. For right now, Tazuna, which way is your house?" Kakashi asked the bridge builder. "About a mile to the east," said Tazuna. Team 7, Tazuna and Goku all made it back to Tazuna's within the hour without any problems. They walked in and got greeted by Tsunami. "Is that her name?" "Tazuna, you're home, and I believe this is the ninja you hired?" she asked. "Yes, that's us, Miss," Kakashi said with a nice smile. "Well, it's nice to meet you. My name is Tsunami, and my son Inari is upstairs," she greeted. After the introductions, Kakashi pulled his team along with Goku outside to discuss what happened earlier. "Okay, Goku, what was that you did earlier?" he asked seriously. "What I did? Oh yeah, all I did was some simple Kai attacks," Goku said with a smile. He waited for a response, but didn't get one, so he looked at Team 7 to see Kakashi, Sasuke and Sakura with wide eyes, while Naruto simply raised an eyebrow in either confusion or understanding. Did you saw that? Say Kai, stuttered Kakashi. "Yeah, why?" asked Goku. "That's impossible, no one can use their Kai," said Sasuke. "Hey, what is Kai exactly?" asked Naruto towards his sensei. "Well, Naruto, Kai is everybody's life energy. It's kind of like chakra except more potent and destructive. You see, we mix our physical energy with our spiritual energy, aka Kai, to get chakra. It's possible to use Kai by itself, but it's extremely deadly and mostly will kill you," explained Kakashi. "That is true, Kakashi, but the way for you to avoid killing yourself is to build your reserves so you can hold more of it," said Goku. "Is it possible for us to use Kai?" Kakashi asked Sasuke with a smile. He was beginning to think this Kai stuff will be his key to killing Itachi. "Sorry, Sasuke, but no ninja can't use Kai," said Kakashi. "Why not?" asked Sakura. "Well, since ninja like you and me have been using chakra our whole lives, it's become like a second nature, kind of like breathing and eating. It's nearly impossible to unlearn how to do chakra and then learn to do Kai," explained Kakashi. "Well, if that's all clear, Kakashi, I still need some new clothes," said Goku, while using his hands to show the top of his Kai was still torn in half from the top. "Okay, Goku, Naruto, would you please accompany Goku and help him find some new clothes?" asked Kakashi. "Sure, Kakashi-sensei," said Naruto with a thumbs up. The Saiyan in the demon container left Tazuna's to explore the village and find Goku some new threads. But when they arrived at the village, they were disgusted at what they saw. They saw homeless, sick people, children, elders, and just other horrible, awful things. But luckily they found a clothing store, and after a while of searching, Goku found what he was looking for when it came to his style of clothing. Goku found black Anbu pants with a red guy top, but he decided to keep his regular shoes. Naruto paid for Goku's stuff, since he didn't have any money in this new world. They left the village and returned to Tazuna's house to eat some dinner. At that night they met Tsunami's son Inari. Tsunami told the story of what happened to his father, and everyone called help, but the next day Goku woke up earlier to the sun shining in his face. He quietly left the house to get some training done. He went into the forest and used his Kai to make a clearing. At first Goku went through a few punches and kicks to stretch his muscles. But then he flew up in the air and went through the punches and kicks like he was fighting invisible opponents. Goku stopped after a few minutes to catch his breath. "I wonder what my next exercise should be. Oh wait, I got it," he smiled mentally. Goku gathered some of his energy to a point and with a yell transformed into his Kaioken. Kakashi was sleeping peacefully until he felt a huge spike in energy. He woke up fast and looked around to see the others sleeping except Goku, who seemed to be missing. He searched for Goku's energy and found it right where that energy spike was. "Goku, what in the hell are you doing?" thought Kakashi. He quickly left the house and went to the energy to see if Goku needed some help. But when he arrived he was shocked at what he found. Craters everywhere, trees snapped or burned, and a tired Goku floating in the air surrounded by red aura. "Goku, are you alright?" he asked the Saiyan. Goku turned his head towards Kakashi and gave him a smile. "Yay, Kakashi, just some training," Goku said while descending to the ground. "Well, I must say you defiantly look like you had a good workout," he said with a nice smile, which Goku returned with his famous grin. "I must ask, though, Goku, what was that red energy?" Kakashi asked. "Red energy, oh my Kaioken, it's a transformation which increases the body's strength, speed and power. There is also more than one state of the Kaioken like at time 2, he explained to the copycat ninja. Wo's eyes widened. "That's just like the celestial gates," he thought to himself. "Well, how many times can you transform, Goku?" "About 20, he replied, and almost gave Kakashi a heart attack. They just left it at that and returned to Tazuna's to see Naruto and the others waiting for them. "Hey, Kakashi-sensei, Goku-san, where were you guys?" asked Sakura. "Goku was training, and I went to get him, And speaking of training, I think it's time for you guys to do some yourself, he said. Cool, Kakashi sensei, what training are we going to be doing, asked the excited Naruto. We're going to climb trees, he replied, which made Team 7 face fault. After they recovered, they looked at their sensei like he was crazy. We're going to be climbing trees, but that's kid stuff, said Sasuke arrogantly. Did I mention you can't use your hands, he said, which got Team 7 and even Goku's attention. Well guys, this is where chapter 2 will end for today. Again, the poll for Sakura is still up. Sasuke. If so, he will either avoid getting the curse mark or something else will happen. Any ideas? So, guys, that's for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe our channel and share to your anime friends. So let's see you in next video. Thanks for watching.